I'm definitely scared about like us turning into Nazi Germany.
This shit is about survival for a lot of people.
He doesn't stand for women. He doesn't stand for people of color. So honestly, I think Trump being president, it just means like the end of all of us having rights.
It's black people, white people, immigrants, that's all poor. That shit about everybody vote who was poor.
When was America ever great?
MAGA folks want to turn the clock back on certain things that aren't progressive that I'm not in support of, so.
I feel like I have no words right now, to be honest.
What do you think, sir?
I'm not the biggest Kamala Harris fan. I'm not a fan of her stances on Palestine and her history as a prosecutor. But I feel like even among black people, nobody was really that crazy about Kamala Harris. I know that a lot of my friends didn't vote because of that. They didn't vote because of the situation in Palestine. But we can't afford a Trump presidency. So I'm nervous for what the future has to hold, but you know.
It doesn't mean that things can't get better. I think the people are moving in one direction despite the fact the government may be moving in another direction. And I always have faith in the people because
There's still laws intact. Like, this is still democracy. Yeah, no, the world is not gonna go to an end.
No, it ain't gonna be the end of the world. It's gonna be the stop of the progression of some, and it's gonna be the spark of the progression of others that are already ahead.
All right, we are at Howard University. It's a pretty prestigious HBCU here in Washington, D.C. And Kamala Harris was supposed to deliver what appeared to be like an address to the nation or a victory speech at the amphitheater right here, but
You won't hear from the vice president tonight.
seems like everybody's walking away at the same time. She currently has, I think, 210 electoral votes and Trump has 240, something like that. So spirits are pretty low. Hopes are definitely dwindling. So we're gonna talk to a few people and see how they feel and why they left the speech.
it's not looking too hot right now. It's not over, but, you know, it's just...
I don't feel like I want to go to school tomorrow. We're both PhD students, so I wanted to work at the Department of Education. Big Republican push is to get rid of that.
And I'm going to close the Department of Education and move education back to the states.
For the uninformed viewer, like what's their motif behind, taking away the elements of the Department of Education?
I think they think it's like a waste of money and resources.
I think that the slogan, Make America Great Again, calls into question as it relates to people of African descent throughout the diaspora. When was America ever great?
Yeah.
Determine what was the time frame that you would recollect that there was actually equal opportunity that was provided to all.
As I walked through the Kamala Harris rally, most people had accepted that she probably wouldn't win the presidency.
I'm really disappointed because I didn't have enough time to register because Texas, you have to register 3 weeks before. So I had to vote as a DC resident.
But still, some people held on to a sliver of hope.
Hey, we're coming back.
We're down 20.
We're down 20. We're down 20.
It's 210, 230. We almost
20. We down
back.
20.
Look. Kamala, she needs to win Wisconsin,
My parlay's still live.
Pennsylvania,
My parlay's still
Georgia,
live.
and maybe Michigan. And we're in there. Nobody give no fuck about Nevada or AZ.
Fuck Arizona.
Fuck all that shit. We respect the people out there, but like this is what matters. It's about what matters right now. We've been out here stressing all night.
We
This
need
might be
this.
the second bottle tonight. Like, we out here. But look, I don't enjoy what Trump did to the Central Five.
He spent $85,000 on a full-page ad in the New York Times calling for our execution.
Any three of us could have been a Central Five in Manhattan. If that's how you gonna represent a large portion of America, I can't get behind that because that's the demographic that I'm a part of.
So you feel like on a moral character level, he's just bogus?
Yeah, hell yeah.
Everything Trump stands for, he doesn't stand for women, he doesn't stand for people of color. So honestly, I think Trump being president, it just means like the end of all of us having rights and being seen as human beings. And I feel like with Harris as president, her goal is to see everyone as people and help everyone.
When it comes to voting for the president, right, you're voting for someone who's going to select the heads of the Department of Agriculture, the Department of Commerce.
Yeah.
And I, believe that, especially with her, she would choose more qualified individuals.
I think as we get even closer and closer to like the end of the timeline and within which we can change the effects of climate change, another 4 years of Trump as president would be horrible for that. It would be horrible for the Middle East. It would be horrible for women's rights, for protections for the LGBTQI. I don't think a Harris presidency would be perfect, but I think in every way possible it would be better than Trump.
And that's the whole issue. I feel like even among black people, nobody was really that crazy about Kamala Harris, but it was just the fact that she was not Trump. And at the end of the day, you can't really run on being not Trump. You have to be more than that. You have to do more for everybody, not just black people, but everybody in general. Class issues matter a lot more, and people don't talk about class issues. People don't talk about imperialism. There's a lot of stuff that people don't talk about, and they focus on the culture wars, but the culture is still very important. Me coming from like a Caribbean community, I'm really worried about like how people are going to attack the Haitian community going forward. I really don't like it.
Yeah.
The cats and dogs shit is bullshit. You know, we all know it's lies, but regardless of who would have won, our country still would have been in crisis, and especially what's going on abroad in Palestine, in the Middle East. Things would have not have been all well and good, but at the same time, with a Trump presidency, it makes it so much worse. But like I said, if Kamala had won, it still not would have been like an amazing outcome.
How much do you think the Biden administration's policy on Israel affected the current outcome today?
I definitely think that Kamala Harris capitulating to right-wing framework on issues is really what alienated people like the people that we know who were just like, absolutely not. I'm not gonna, like, what are you talking about? You're gonna finish the wall. Like, it just doesn't make sense. What are you talking about? We have to tolerate lower grocery prices for a genocide in Palestine.
I know that a lot of my friends, they didn't vote because of the situation in Palestine. I personally think it was still worth it to vote.
Facts. Trump presidency is nothing good, bro.